There are timestamps down below. Feel free to skip around, and also
make sure to check out our Instagram. The link's in the bio for some behind the scenes content and to stay connected with us and see what we're up to while we're off of YouTube. Welcome back to the webs. It has been almost a full year since Universal opened the gates to Epic Universe, and somehow, living right here in Orlando, it has taken us this long to finally check it out. But today is the day. We are finally stepping through those portals to see if the hype holds up 1 year later. Going into this, we had two massive questions. As locals, we usually like to take our times at the park. So will we be actually able to do everything we want to? And more importantly, will we feel like we were rushed trying to pack it all into our first visit? Stick around because we're going to break down our entire first-time experience and let you know exactly what to expect. Now, let's get into it.
Went to Epic Universe, and it was great, but we have some thoughts.
Yeah, as always. When
Yeah.
do we not have thoughts? We're going to do a little recap of our Epic Universe day, go through like what our favorites were, our least favorite, what we think will be some good strategies to take for going to Epic Universe. We've only done it literally one time now. It was our first time at Epic, but you know, kind of what we did, how we thought it went.
So they've been open for a year.
Happy birthday, Epic Universe. As you can see in the background here, beautiful Epic Universe. It is not lacking in the beauty. We have been to Tokyo Disneyland, so we've been to Tokyo Disney Sea, so we've seen like that beautiful,
It's
like
up there.
immersive theme park. But yes, we've seen a beautiful, like those fully immersive, just amazing theme parks. And this feels as close to that as I have been.
It's like Disney Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Tokyo
like up
Disney
there.
Sea. Mhm.
And that was 20 plus years or
Yeah.
so. I don't even know the exact date on that, but
Mhm.
this is the newest in the world,
So
and it shows.
yeah, it shows. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
A little breakdown of our day, what we've done, what our wait times were like, how we were able to get on the different rides. We were able to do basically everything in the park. The only thing we did not ride was My Kart Madness, Dragon Racers Rally, or Fire Drill. Outside of that, we rode every ride in the park, and we were not able to see Untrainable Dragon Show because unfortunately it was in technical issues the entire day. So
Yeah, that was a bummer.
outside of that, we were able to do everything. Plus, we did a few things twice. We were able to ride Hiccup's Wing Gliders twice, the Stardust Racers twice, and Monsters Unchained 2 times.
Yeah.
So we did everything outside of those few things that I mentioned, plus the other stuff we did 2 times. So kind of, you know, weigh that out. Time-wise, we probably would have been able to do
Everything for sure.
had we wanted to. I didn't really care about riding Fire Drill, to be honest. I didn't want to get wet. Dragon Racers Rally just never kind of worked into the timing of our day, and we definitely would have made time for the show had it been available. My Kart Madness never just got to a wait time that we wanted to do with a toddler, unfortunately. But that's okay.
I would have done Fire Drill, but there was a downpour that came through, and I had wet shoes for the rest of the day
I think
after
you should
that.
have just done it anyway. You're already wet.
Right. Exactly. We don't do a lot of wet rides anyways because they're just like not really our thing. But
I didn't get wet in the rain. I was inside with Owen. So, but yes, so let's just start out maybe with our favorite ride. So Zach and I were discussing like just kind of by ourselves. Like I even just was randomly just talking after one of the rides, and I was like, that I think is my favorite ride in the park. And later on he said,
so
you beat me to it first. So what was that ride?
Well, I kept it to myself because I wanted to see what she thought about it.
Right, because we rode
And
it separately.
my-
Owen did not ride it with us on this one.
Yeah, I didn't tell her my thoughts so I could let her tell me if she. But as soon as I got off of there, I was like, I think that's my favorite ride that I've
Right, but
pretty much ever done.
it was a ride that Owen could not do with us because
Yeah.
it is Monsters Unchained. That was definitely my favorite ride in the park. Hence, we did it 2 times.
Yes.
And that was one that we had to separate and do it twice separately. So it was even longer, and I felt the need to do it 2 times. Like it was so good. I was grinning like a crazy person. We can pop up the picture of me on the ride and Zach on the ride. I'm just grinning ear to ear. I texted a picture to Rachel, if you've seen her on the channel, and I was like, you would never know there was a werewolf jumping over a bridge at my face at this exact moment because I'm grinning like a crazy person. That's how much I love that ride.
I'm too. I just remember going through the ride, and I'm just like this the whole.
Yeah. Some of the coolest animatronics.
And it's not that it's, I mean, I like scary movies and I like all that kind of stuff, so I don't really like and there are a couple jump scares. There's like the swamp monster part and like one of the Dracula
mummy,
and
then
mummy.
the werewolf part.
Yeah, and the werewolf. So there's a lot of like.
Right, there's some little jump scares, but every time I was like.
Yeah.
I'm just grinning.
It was just so funny. I wish we had a video of like
of me just riding it
because
I was just so happy. Like every animatronic was so cool. Some of those Dracula animatronics, I was like, is that like, that's an animatronic. That is absolutely nuts.
If you don't want any spoilers, like, I mean, and you don't want to like see the ride itself, the animatronics are just amazing, and you'll get a little bit of a taste with the pre-shows. So there are pre-shows, and I think that's why the queue is always around 20 minutes. 10, 20 minutes.
It was 10 to 15 minutes the entire day.
Yeah.
When we were there. Just looking like at wait times before we went, after we went, it's somewhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes. Pretty generally 15 to 20 is the sweet spot usually for Monsters Unchained.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because it is such a more mature topic, people don't go on it as much out of fear, don't want to take their children on it. Within reason, understandable. It's scary, it's monsters, but I don't let that stop you. Like, maybe not take your kids on it.
No, that's unbelievable.
But don't let that stop you from going on this ride, because
yeah,
it was so good. If you haven't really heard anything about it and you're okay with some spoilers, if you've been on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, it's the same ride mechanism. So it's the Kuka arm that's like on like the thing you're riding, and it can flip you around, and like it doesn't go upside down or anything, but it can like tilt you backwards and forwards.
You do lay on your back,
right? And it moves you into like the positioning of where you need to be looking at that moment. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey makes me incredibly motion sick because of the screens. I felt wonderful on this ride, no problem. It is not the ride vehicle that makes me sick, it is the scream. So if you're like scared because you've heard it's the same vehicle as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, no problem. The motion, totally fine. It's not screens. There's like a couple of screens in the background, but that's not the focus of this ride. It is the animatronics and the practical sets and just everything that you see. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I loved it. The only thing that wasn't working for us was the Phantom. He was just kind of like, sitting still.
Yeah, it didn't move. Well, that's the very first animatronic you see, and I was just like, huh. Okay.
Right, but everything else after that,
I was like, I think 100%. He should be doing something, but he wasn't, because I didn't look at any rides before I went and did that. I knew of it.
I didn't either, but I knew he was supposed to be moving because I've heard how cool of an animatronic he is.
Yeah.
But he wasn't
that's
moving.
the unfortunate thing.
It's what it is. That's what happens. I'd rather ride the ride with 99% of the things working than not ride it at all.
Right. And that is a big theme of this. There was a lot of stuff that was not 100%.
That was our favorite ride.
Either 100% or you don't get the ride. I'm just going to say, hey, give me what you got.
Ride it. So
especially that ride.
Yeah.
Like, keep that sucker going if there's like one or two
we never
things
saw that ride
not...
go down, by the way.
Yeah.
That ride never went down.
Yeah.
Even with all those animatronics.
A lot of the other rides
never went down.
We'll talk about that.
So favorite roller coaster. There's basically 3 roller coasters. You got Stardust Racers, the large dueling launch coaster. You have Hiccup's Wing Gliders, the more family-friendly roller coaster in Isle of Berk. And then you have Curse of the Werewolf, the like rotating free spin coaster in Dark Universe.
Well, then the mine.
Oh, yeah, and the Minecart Madness.
That we did not ride.
We did not get to ride that one, so I'm not talking about that one, but that is the Donkey Kong coaster that has like the double tracks, it's like jumping the tracks. So that one, obviously, we can't say.
We did attempt to do that first, and our toddler was not feeling that one, so we did the other 2 rides, but we'll get to that.
What was your favorite
roller coaster? It's really hard to say because I was very surprised by the Curse of the Werewolf. Because we were talking about that too, because it's a free spinning, like there's no, so you could technically ride that forever and you'll never get the exact same experience. Yeah.
Right,
where you could be,
like Guardians is a controlled spin. It points you where it wants you to go, something like that. Whereas Curse of the Werewolf is a free spinning coaster. So based on the weight distribution of who is on each side, because it's a double seated, it's like you have the seats, and there's 2 people on this side, 2 people on this side, and it spins around as you're going through the track. Yeah. So based on the weight distribution, you're always going to be turning in a different way.
Yeah.
So you can.
And it was funny because she rode with Owen,
and he's
not even 4 years old. So, and he loved it.
He loved it.
Yeah. He is a roller coaster junkie. It's
He's a
crazy.
real baby.
Yeah. But he rode on the opposite side of me, so I was, they're facing that way, I'm facing that way. So their experience was the exact opposite of mine.
It's cool.
And that's really cool. Like, I think each ride, and depending on if you ride in the front or the back, it's always going to be different too. Like the way that physics work.
We were like somewhere in the middle, weren't we?
I think we're in the middle. I think we're in the middle. I think we're in the
No, we were in the back.
I think we're in the.
There was
we
no
were
one
in the
behind
very
us.
back. No, I was in the very back.
Yeah, you were in the very back. There was no one behind us.
Yeah.
Because
And
when we were
y'all
pulling
were-
up into the station, we were facing like the car in front of us, and Owen goes, look at them people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it finally clicked with him that we were facing another like group of people, which was really cute.
Yeah.
But was that your favorite, or
I don't know. I think so.
you think so?
Like, I think that just that unique experience, but hiccups, wing gliders.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
was
name?
gonna say probably just like the overall experience. I think Hiccup Wing Gliders was my favorite. It's so smooth.
Yeah.
It's long and more thrilling than you would think because it is a family coaster.
Yeah. Two
Owen-
launches.
Yeah, 2 launches.
You do a lot of
Like
this.
you do a lot of like side, like banking and like.
It's
just-
perfect for a
Right.
dragon
It's
because
perfect.
the idea
it feels
is
like you're gliding.
Yeah.
Like
it's a
which is
dragon.
what you are. It was.
Put your wings on.
It was great.
I didn't know that there's a hiccup animatronic and a toothless.
And a
That's
toothless,
the black
right.
dragon of his, and they like put your wings on the coaster, and it's really
Right.
cool.
Owen absolutely loved this ride.
Which foreshadowing
Loved
there,
this ride.
we did get
Right.
evacuated
Right.
from
We
that
said we
ride.
rode it 2 times.
Would have
Two
been
and a
a
half.
third.
2 and a quarter. 2 and 1/8.
Yeah, 2 1/8. Yeah, that's
and
1/16. Yeah,
I don't
we didn't
even know.
make it. We made it to the very first launch
Right, we didn't make
before
it to
you
the first
actually
launch,
go,
yeah.
and we got stuck right there.
But like you said, we did get evacuated from Hiccup. It was right before the first launch. So like we literally made it out of the Hiccup's wing gliders. Yes, sir. We made it out of the station. We turned. We stopped. We did not launch.
Yeah,
We sat there for quite a while, and they eventually evacuated us.
but it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I've
It
been
really
stuck on a
wasn't.
roller coaster a lot longer than that. They were really great. The staff is just really
Yeah, they were
great.
super nice. They brought us like water,
Yeah.
got us out of there, gave us.
Well,
some
I was stuck in the sun. They were in the shade.
Yeah.
They were literally. I was in the 3rd row. You were in the 2nd row.
Yeah, so me and Owen were in the shade.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably.
We even got
would've been
stuck
on
in
it.
the worst spot because we could have been completely covered, but
It's okay.
no,
They gave us
it
some
worked out.
express passes
Yeah, which we gave away to
to
people.
compensate. We didn't end up using them. It worked out. It was okay.
We ended up getting to do it again, and we loved
Right.
it. He loved it. Like, we got off, he was really upset, and
Right.
they even gave us extra passes, and that was really nice.
So we waited outside and then we just waited for it to open up again. It was like 15, 20 minutes later, and we just like hopped right on. So we did that one a couple of times. Loved it.
Yeah.
But Stardust Racers, also really good. So it's a dueling, literally like there's 2 coasters side by side that go along and like swirl around each other. I
Yeah,
thought that
very
was
unique.
I thought that was crazy. Like it was more so than if you've ever done Dueling Dragons. This is
Yeah.
like Dueling Dragons amplified because
Yeah.
there's one part where you go over the top hat and you turn and you like spin and you
Between each
twine
other.
around each
Intertwine,
other.
yeah.
And I was like, what? Like I'm literally like going around this other roller coaster.
Yeah.
And at nighttime, even crazier because the actual tracks don't light up. The lights are on the coaster. So it feels like you're just flying
Yeah,
into
you're just seeing it.
nothingness.
Yeah.
And I just see the other car with the lights and like, it's like comets just like flying through
Yeah.
the sky.
And we did both tracks.
Right, we did both tracks. We did it
day
daytime
and
and nighttime. I
Yeah.
highly recommend nighttime. I didn't really feel that much difference between the 2 tracks, if I'm being honest. If I had to pick one, I don't even know if I could pick
I can see like the little differences that they mention. Like if you look it up, like which one is which. But
supposedly
I don't
one's
think
a little
it
faster,
matters.
supposedly one has a little more air time. I don't know. I just went whichever one. For the first ride. I was like, hey, that line looks shorter. I'm gonna walk
But
in that
you
one.
can really see like that there are some times where they just do very different
They
things.
do. They're
And
different.
really cool.
They're 2 different rides. I
It feels
recommend.
like 2 different.
I recommend doing both sides,
Yeah.
and I recommend doing a daytime ride and a nighttime ride if possible. That was something that was really important to me to do both of them because I knew that was something that I wanted to experience. So
Yep.
that is something we used one of the fast passes on, or the express pass. We did the express pass for our nighttime ride because the lines can be a little bit longer at nighttime because everyone's trying to get this really cool ride, which I'm looking at right now. It's just like purple and white lights flying through the sky on a roller coaster. It's absolutely crazy. Loved it.
But the queue was actually really reasonable, like no matter the time of day. I think it was like anywhere between 10 minutes and like 30 most of the time.
I think
it
30 was,
might
like,
have
the
gone
highest
up
we
a little
saw.
bit higher, but I think like it's pretty low queues, just like the Monsters Unchained, which is just so funny to me. Like two very popular, awesome rides that just have like you could do it multiple times.
So for our day, if you've watched our video from Helios, you know that we were staying at the Helios Grand. We did get early access for staying on Universal Parks. We got 1 hour early, plus we had our own dedicated entrance, so we were able to get into the park. It was about 8:50 that let us in for 9 a.m. early entry. We went straight to Super Mario World. Was that a good idea? Probably, like, for us, I feel like that was
For us, it was because we have, you know,
we
if you
have
have
toddlers.
kids, yeah.
So what his biggest want to do was Mario. Like, he's been talking about Mario. If you look at the layout of the park, you know that Helios is actually located closest to Ministry, the right here, and Monsters right here.
Yeah.
So layout wise, probably not the best move, but also the morning of our early entry, the Battle of the Ministry was delayed. Form your own game plan, have a backup plan to battle. You can get into Battle of the Ministry super fast because the walkway that you exit out of literally almost dumps you into the Wizarding World portal.
Right.
So in that aspect is great.
Yeah, I would say rope drop the Ministry if you want to get that out of the way.
Right.
But if it's delayed,
then like what do you do? You know?
Because the problem with where we are is there's a lot more people on that side that are closer to that land. So they let you in the gate.
They let you inside through the entry of the park, and they stop you right before the portals. So right outside of Super Mario World was a very large group of people ready to go into Mario World, and we are way down here at Helios where we had to walk all the way through Celestial Park to get to the Super Mario portal.
Right.
By the time we got into that portal, the Minecart Madness was a 45-minute wait. Yeah. Already.
Well, if you're unfamiliar, there are portals, and there are 4, right? There's 4 because there's like 5 lands technically if you count Celestial.
Park.
Yeah. So there's 4 portals, there's 4 different areas that you can go to. So there's like the main part of the park, and then Celestial, which is all of this, all the restaurants, and the Carousel. Yeah. And that's where they'll stop you. But yeah, you can see all the portals. I can show you all of that, but yeah.
It worked out for us. We ended up doing Yoshi's, and then we did the Mario Kart ride.
Yeah.
So we knocked all of those out by 8:50. Yeah, because we had about 10 minutes before the park opened, and they ended up letting everybody else in that 10 minutes, because as we were leaving the Super Mario Land, the crowds just like...
Yeah, we were leaving. That was the one time that we felt like
that was the one time I felt crowded and a little scared for what my day was going to entail.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that was not the case.
Didn't even really talk about Yoshi is bad. So bad.
I told you, you're like, it can't be that bad.
Well, we were at the end of the ride getting off, and I was just like, oh yeah, we're like halfway, maybe a quarter through the ride, and it's just like it's done.
No. If you wait anything more than 5 minutes for that ride, you have made a mistake.
Yeah,
Please
don't.
Not. If you see anything higher than 5 minutes, do not ride Yoshi's.
Guys,
ride it and get it out of the way. Whatever.
I've done Nintendo my entire life. I love it. I love Yoshi. I love the Mario series. I love the Donkey Kong. I love Zelda. I love all that stuff. It's great. Even for me, I think the queue's fun and cute, and like the actual ride itself, if you can do that, it's like a really short
part
time.
of the ride.
Yeah. It's fine.
Right, it was fine.
And like I think the parts that they did, it looks good. I think like just like the concept, how slow you go, you're sitting in the sun, all that just terrible.
It moves too slow. But if you go any faster, the ride's gonna be over in 4 seconds.
So you can't.
So you
what do you
kind
do?
of have to. It's like an interactive. You hit these buttons when you find the eggs, like collecting seat kind of thing.
Yeah, and that just doesn't. That wasn't even good either. But that was very unfortunate. I'm very sad that that's as bad as it is.
Not a must do.
But yeah, I would if you don't get to ride that,
you're fine.
You're good.
Right.
The Mario Kart, I thought that was pretty cool.
I didn't.
I don't. Yeah, I know you're not crazy about like the motion and stuff. I thought it was like it was a different interactive way to do, because it's augmented reality.
My
So you're
my
gonna,
problem was like I felt like anything I was doing did not make a difference.
yeah.
I felt like I was turning the steering wheel, I was trying to drive, didn't do anything. I
Yeah.
feel like I could just sit there and the ride would be exactly the same as if I was even
I
driving.
think it's a point system. So like when you turn the wheel, it'll tell you like it'll have this like pointing arrow going that way or
right.
pointing arrow going that way, and you turn the wheel to go that way to make it go like, oh, you
Right.
did what I told you to do, and you
right.
turn
So
this way.
if I didn't turn the
So it's
wheel,
not-
you were still going
Yeah,
this
it's not
way.
that. It's literally just you moving your head
Right.
and then hitting the buttons to do like
So I took Owen's little VR thing off. He rode the ride without it. And most of the time I just looked up and didn't even use my VR thing because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like the actual physical sets were cool enough to look at, but I felt like the VR
I think
interactive
that-
part of it.
Yeah, it not as much, but
No.
yeah, the actual like practical and I think that's the biggest
Right. The
theme
practical
of this entire thing.
The practical sets were awesome. It did not need the VR. Just let me ride it like a dark ride, and I think I would have been happier than trying to play this game that I feel like did not actually have any gaming aspects, that if I did something, it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because if I turned the steering wheel, it didn't matter. There was no consequence or effect otherwise.
Yeah. Right. It's like it wouldn't. How much of a difference?
Right. I would have just preferred to
getting
just
points.
ride it and look like I was riding a little Mario Kart and just looking
Yeah.
at all the stuff and beating Bowser. I would have been happy as a clam, which is kind of what I did.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of it's a hard thing to do because if you play those games, you
Right.
go and you
I
get those little
understand
power
you can't, like if I
ups.
turn left, you can't make the car turn left because like
Right,
it
it's
doesn't
on a
work
fixed
that
track.
way. So
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean that.
yeah,
I don't
I get
know.
it.
I would like to do it again just to give it more of a, okay, yeah, that actually is worse than I thought it was. Maybe I just had a lot of hype and I wanted it to be like live
Right.
up to,
But yeah,
because I played those games my whole life too.
but it was fun.
Way better than Yoshi.
Way better than Yoshi. So that's what we got from that. Also, that one was delayed for about 10 minutes when we got in line. So we waited about 10 minutes before they
Yeah.
opened
that
the
was
ride
them.
back up.
Yeah, right off the bat.
That was the very first in the
Yeah.
morning.
A lot of delays, a lot of things not working on this trip.
Right. But expect that.
Yeah.
Expect
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's just
That's
part
not
of it.
only Epic. Every theme park has delays.
Well, we were saying we think there is a little bit more just because of
Everything
the
is
technology
so
and the crazy,
technologically advanced.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
and that's like a pro and a con for sure. But I think like that world, very immersive, but it almost, we were talking about that, it almost feels like
It's very stimulating, very overstimulating.
it's kind of just the one that's just really in your face, and I kind of wish it was just spread out a little bit.
Well, because it's 2 levels, so like you walk in and you go up the elevator or escalator into the top part, which is where the Mario's ride
Yeah, you come out of
is.
Peach Castle.
And then you have to go down, which is where Yoshi's is, and then where it goes into Donkey Kong Country as well. So it's like little areas that are just kind of smaller, bunched up together instead of
Yeah.
big, widespread areas. So everything felt very tight, very in your face. It was very loud, very colorful, very interactive.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
The Donkey Kong Country was just like a little bit more spread out, and it felt like
It looked really cool.
I think it was just like better overall,
It
but
looked really cool. So from there, we went over to Isle of Berk. We did our ride on Hiccups. We've already talked about that, so I won't really like go into it much more, but it was a really cool roller coaster. They have 2 other rides in the land, like we said, the Dragon Racers Rally, which is like oh, wow.
I think that was the most immersive land. I think that was
Sorry, the fountain show is starting. That's what caught me off guard.
You see?
Yeah, I
You
did.
see that? You can watch it.
Wow.
Boy.
Yeah, I feel like Isle of Berk was the most immersive. Like I walked in there and like I was reading the plaque when you walk in, which is what Hiccup says at the very beginning of the movie. Like that's his dialogue as you're starting the movie. And I was reading it. I could like hear it in my head, like him saying it. And as you're walking in, I was like, I am literally in Berk in the movie.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
yeah.
I
I
was
think
just
all
like-
the portals overall like separating. Like you really you go in there,
Right,
and
you
then
walk
you're
through
just
the
in your own
portal
place.
and you're in it. You can't really see out into the other lands, which was awesome.
Yeah.
You're just like,
I think they did a great job with that.
that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, the Harry Potter area
Whoa.
was the same way. Yeah,
Whoa, toy.
hopefully they can see all this too.
You know, like all the lights in the park light up to
Yeah, you can see
correspond
all
with the
this.
colors of the fountains.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then even like our hotel light like interacts with the. I think you can see it from where you are.
Yeah, it goes off at the same time that those go on.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see her.
Sorry, brief intermission, little lighting change. Owen turned the lights on. But we stopped to watch the water show in Celestial Park.
Which I've seen 3 times now. And
That's my first time viewing, but from the room, it is absolutely amazing to watch. So watch the show. If you can watch it from a higher elevation, definitely do that because all of the lights throughout Celestial Park change colors to go with the fountain show, which I think was the coolest part of the show.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what you can actually see from down there because you can sit all around the actual
They have,
fountains.
like theater seats around
Yeah,
it, but
so I'm sure you can see a little bit at least, but not like this kind of view.
Not like this.
For you to see it all through the entire, from the entrance to the back of the park.
right, and it's at the close of park.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Isle of Berk. Very cool. By far, I felt like the most immersive, the most themed, the most overall. I don't know.
I mean, it's just the best overall part of the park.
Mhm.
Like, they have those cones. We had those, like, the
the
little
food was
cone. That was
great.
great. They have an exclusive Coke Freestyle. So they have, if you know about Universal, they have the Coke Freestyle machines all around the park. And there are 3 lands that have, or 3 areas. So you got
3 different
Celestial,
There's Celestial Park,
Isle of Berk,
and then Dark Universe.
Dark Universe.
All 3 have an exclusive drink flavor.
We think that the one in Isle of Berk was supposed to be carbonated, but we got machines that were like flat, so I don't know if that was supposed to be or not. But I really like the flavor. You didn't like it as much, but we both liked the one at Dark Universe. That exclusive flavor was really good. It was some kind of berry.
Screaming berry.
Screaming berry.
It's delicious.
It was so good.
Celestial Park was Celestial Spritz, and Isle of Berk was
Dragon
berry or
Scale.
Dragon's-
I don't know. Dragon
something.
something. I think that Dragon Scale was the beer at
I
Harry
think it was like
Potter.
Dragon Berry something.
Yeah. Dragon something.
I don't know, but berry, probably not another berry.
That one was good. The Celestial Spritz was like oddly not very sweet, which was weird for a soft drink.
It was just like
but,
it was like a
yeah,
seltzer.
Yeah.
Um,
It was okay.
but yeah,
It was fine.
Screaming berry was my favorite for sure.
Yeah, so good.
But yes, the cones in Isle of Berk were delicious. We got the PB&J cone,
Yeah,
so
that
mac
was
and
great.
cheese cone, so
Yeah,
it's mac
pulled
and
pork.
cheese with pulled pork and like jelly glaze. There's a few different flavors. There's like just regular mac and cheese. There's another one that I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, they had like just regular mac and cheese, and then they had
Another
some
flavored
other.
one.
Yeah, I
but
don't remember.
what it was. We got the PB&J one. It was
That one looked
absolutely
like the most fun.
delicious. Get a cone.
Yeah.
There's shirts about saying I'm here for the cones.
I said that before we even got it. I was like, I saw someone with a shirt that said, "I'm here for the cones."
Yeah, they're that good.
Yeah.
That land actually has probably the most things you can do in it because it has 3 rides and a show. And we saw a dragon flying in the land.
Yeah, we did.
There was a dragon flying. I don't even know.
Yeah, I couldn't see. I was like, oh, was it like a kite or like?
It was like a drone or something.
It had to have been.
It had to be a drone.
But
I
there
don't
wasn't
know.
anything.
It was an actual flying dragon. I saw a dragon flying. That's all I know. I saw a dragon.
Yeah,
I saw a dragon. I was in Berk and I saw a dragon. That's all I know. I didn't even know there was a dragon. It was red and it was a dragon. And I was just like, there's a dragon.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Dragon. That's all I got. There was a dragon.
When we got stopped on that ride, that lady was talking about, there's a dragon.
There's a
She
dragon.
said something. It was so.
When you're walking into all the portals, they like say something above each of them. When you're walking into Berk and it's like, and we have dragons or something.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like, they have dragons.
We.
And we,
something,
sir,
something,
have dragons or something.
Yeah.
We have dragons. They have dragons. There's a dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know how often that happens. We saw a dragon.
And then the other
I don't
portal has the long quote from Dumbledore. I don't remember what it is
I can
exactly,
read
but
it
you
from
can
my
read
phone
it
from
from
here.
the, yeah.
And,
Something,
like,
the dream.
We enter the something and something and
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I don't know.
And then you have like the Mario world. Where it's
Mario.
like, let's go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Or let's go. Here we go.
And Dark Universes.
It's
It's
alive.
alive.
Yeah. I think I really like that land the most.
Yeah, we can move into Dark Universe.
I don't know. It's just weird. I just like
really
the
cool.
monsters, like the dark part of it. I love the manor. Like the manor is just amazing. I think like overall, like the single, like coolest looking thing in this entire place was like the manor. It just looks so cool.
It was a really cool portal to walk under also. You said that was probably your favorite.
Yeah.
Like walking into, like have like, I don't know, like lightning and like
the
crazy sounds and
exterior of it.
electricity and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it looks really cool. Like the thing is like, I don't even know, like the lightning at the top and there was
Yeah.
always like,
Imagine Frankenstein's monster and like the
Yeah,
lightning to bring him to life. Like,
But yeah.
that's that.
It was really cool. They have a couple of restaurants in there.
Oh, yeah, we had the best food
We
there.
ate inside. First, we went to Das Steakhouse. I didn't actually eat anything in there, but the food looked really good while we were there.
Yeah, we got like
we
the
just got
cider.
a drink. We got a cider. We just sat out the rain while it was raining, and then took turns riding. Watching Unchained.
I got soaked.
And then we actually ate at the Burning Blade Tavern.
Yeah, and
We ate at the Burning Blade Tavern. It was delicious. We got the burnt cheese balls, which are like the pimento cheese.
Is that what is the actual name?
Yeah, so it was like literally burnt.
Well, but that's what
Like flaming, like
they look burnt.
they look burnt.
They look terrible.
But they're like melted pimento cheese, like gooey cheesiness
Yeah.
with this like a sriracha dipping sauce. Really good.
Their whole entire menu was just like perfect theme and just
Yeah,
like,
it was like
all of it
Yeah,
looked
the
good.
steak, I'm sure you've seen it on the internet. The steak with like the garlic bread with the dipping sauce. We got this like pita flatbread that had chicken and some cabbage and
salsa.
so salsa on it that was really good. The chicken was like on a steak. It was like steak chicken. I don't know. It was really good. I enjoyed
It's
all of
very
that
good.
food.
Just grilled chicken. Very
We
good.
got their souvenir cup with something inside of it. I don't even know, but it was also nice.
Yeah.
The Burning Blade is actually working again.
Go grab that.
Oh,
You keep talking.
He's gonna go grab that.
You keep talking.
But the Burning Blade Tavern has the windmill on top of it that catches fire like every, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes that has not been working in a long time. And I honestly thought it wasn't working. I didn't even tell Zach it was a thing. So I didn't tell him it was a thing. And then it lit fire and I was like, holy crap, it's actually on fire. Like I did not think we would see that. So that was really cool. He's bringing in his souvenir cup.
Yeah, you were talking about the what
Burning
this part right here. Burning Blade Tavern Darkmoor is where it is. But when we got this, it was red. So we brought it back to our room and I was like, I thought that was red. Like it was not white. It is cold. I've confirmed this because I put some like ice on it and it will change. Like it will do the red, the fire. So if you can see like the flames around there. It will do the fire there, and then all the text is like in red. Yeah, it's really cool. I think it was maybe like $5 more or something, but it gives you cheaper.
Yeah, so you get cheaper refills.
Yeah, we didn't take advantage of that. We just wanted like the cup.
I just wanted the cup.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you bring it back in, you can get cheaper
But yeah, it was
drinks.
a really cool land.
Yeah, so like overall, if you take like the Curse the Werewolf roller coaster, you take like our favorite ride, like all the just
With the really good
great
food.
theming, the manor that just looks amazing, the good food there, just like
Yeah, we saw the Invisible Man.
yeah,
Like
it was just great. It was like it was not the most immersive land like when you walk into, but I think it was still like my favorite.
It was still really cool though.
Just overall, like even, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Like I said, I played Nintendo games forever. I really respect the How to Train Your Dragon franchise,
Yeah,
which
it's
if
really
you
cool.
haven't seen, you need to watch it, especially if you come here.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then the last one is the Harry Potter
Yes.
portal.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. The last one is the Harry Potter portal because this one is based around Fantastic Beasts franchise. So this is set in Paris. So the ministry in Paris, not your typical Harry Potter, you know, Hogwarts, all
Yeah.
of that. This is, you know, a different land.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, it's Paris. Everything is French and Parisian themed. The show, which was really cool, Le Cirque Arcanu. It was like a circus, but like a Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts little twist into it. I won't spoil it. I hadn't seen anything about it. I had no idea going into it. I'd heard
No.
it was good. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody else. Just watch the show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Owen thought it was really fun. Did you like it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's
if you
a
want my
short
honest
show,
opinion,
but-
I wish it was a little bit longer, but they do have like a pre-show.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, so I mean, you know,
like
it's
split
a
up
little
into-
bit, yeah.
It's a what do they say? A 5-minute pre-show,
Yeah.
and then maybe like a 10-minute show,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Right, the
Well,
pre-
it might have been like,
Maybe like
it might have been close to 15.
12 or 15, but the pre-show you're standing, and then the rest of the show
Yeah.
you're sitting.
Very, very good overall.
It was cute. It was a cute way to incorporate the Fantastic Beasts franchise into like a show. I liked it. There was
I
some
mean, it was super cute.
there were
They
some
do
cool effects.
really cool things. You'll be like, oh,
right.
wow.
There's some cool
Wonder
effects
how they did that.
I was like, oh, that's cool. How'd they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome.
I didn't know anything about the length of the show. I really didn't know anything about the show. So we ate in, I don't even know the name of the place right now. Sorry, we can.
It's all in French.
Pop it up on the screen. It wasn't even a hard name to say, the place we ate at. It
No,
was like
but everything.
a bale, I don't even know what it was. I remember a goblet, the black goblet or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm literally making this up off the top of my head. We'll pop it up on there. I know we've got footage of us eating in there.
Yeah.
But we ate inside
a lot of
that.
space. It was nice and cool. It was a nice atmosphere.
Right. We
It
had the
good food.
schnitzel. It was really good.
Yeah,
I
it was so
enjoyed
good.
that.
Oh my gosh, that gravy
And
was so good.
we had some kind of beer in there that was delicious.
Yeah, we had a really good beer there.
It was a blackberry
Yeah.
Currant.
We have that on film too. I don't
do.
know.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
And we also got a butter beer.
Mm-hmm.
We have our butter beer
Yeah.
souvenir.
That's our souvenir cup. It's a lot. It's still plastic, just like the other one, but it is nicer than the first one that we ever got, and that was like 10 years ago, probably. But it is also in French, which is really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And then we thought it, like both said this on both sides, but it also just has your
That's
regular butterbeer, which is nice.
Yeah, I was like, we got to get one of those. It just looks super cool.
Yeah, it's only a few bucks more, and I really like the souvenirs,
We like
especially the
souvenir
souvenir
cups.
cups. So
So the last thing inside there is the ride, the Battle at the Ministry. When I say that thing went up and down all day, it went up and down all day. I would look, be 180 minutes. I don't think it really got to 180, but I did see it at 80.
we've seen it at that before.
Right, but
many
not this
times.
trip. It'd be up, it'd be down. It'd be up, it'd be down. I'd look at it, it'd be crazy, or it'd be down. It's just one of those ones that the ride system plus the animatronics just make it very unreliable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like I said, when we even got into the park first thing, it was down. And it was down in the middle of the day when we thought about riding it. Like it went down at the middle of the night.
Yeah, because we even thought about, hey, should we get in line now? Because it's 60 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
or we're not going to be able to do it.
Right. So that ride, we finally got to ride it. It was literally
8:40.
8:40 p.m.
8:42.
We
I
were
think.
like, let's do it.
They close at 9.
They close at 9. If they'll let me in the line, let's do it. Because I have seen that if the line gets too long towards the end of the night, they will shut the line off and will not let you in to keep the cast members or for the team members from having to stay so late past close because they don't want a 2-hour line,
Yeah, sure.
at park close,
Right.
which is reasonable, understandable. So when it was 8:30, we saw the line was about 40 minutes. We were like, let's see if they'll let us in it. We got over there and it was only a 30-minute wait. So they did let us in the line and we ended up waiting only about 20 minutes, honestly, which was amazing.
It was 25.
25.
Yeah.
Love
right
it.
around it. Yeah.
Love it.
Amazing queue.
Amazing queue.
Like the best queue overall in the whole,
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah.
But the queue in Monsters was good too. We didn't really mention that
Right.
before, but
yeah,
so good
this
there too.
queue-
But this
yeah.
queue is like,
This queue is crazy. You're like,
Yeah.
am I in a theme park? Did I just leave?
Yeah.
Like, what is
I
happening?
think that's the biggest thing is
Right. That
you
was
just
crazy.
go and I'm just like, this is just crazy that this is a line that you're walking
Right.
through.
And it's long. The line is long.
Yeah.
Like, you just keep going and going and going and going and going. Like,
Yeah.
there was no one in front of us. We really never stopped. It was just like, you just go that long.
Yeah. And like the actual like riding, the technology, like you're in an
looked like
elevator.
It looked like a Tower of Terror
Yeah, it does.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Not
sitting
as
in
many
like a
seats,
chair.
but pretty
less
close.
chairs.
But
For the same buckle system.
I think
and,
it's like the same riding, one of those where you're on a track, but this thing like really can move around. But it's a lot bigger scale.
Right. I was disappointed at the amount of screens. I'm like, why can we not make a Harry Potter ride that is not only screens? Like, there were some animatronics. There were some great animatronics. Like, the Death Eater animatronic was crazy. Like, it looked like a real human being.
Yeah.
I was genuinely
Because he
like,
has a mask, you can't
that
really.
is crazy. That's a human being. And then you get over to Dolores Umbridge, and I thought her face, I was like,
Look like a
I was
like a
looking
bulldog,
at it.
like a bulldog.
well, half of her, I don't even know if it was just my angle, half of her face was split in half, and I could see like it was doing like different things because it's projection screens.
Yeah.
Why did you spend all of this money on these crazy animatronics and do projection screens?
I'm just like that particular person when you could have just
it was like, it took me out of it. And I'm like, I literally like wanted to laugh at her face.
Yeah. I don't know. It was fine.
I don't know. I love Harry Potter and the franchise so much.
I thought Harry was better, like Harry and Ron, because they were in there too. I thought he was better.
Right.
It was just Dolores that was
It was just Dolores
rough.
that was so bad.
Yeah.
But it was just so much screens. It was just screen with like one little animatronic in front of it or one little thing in front of it. Like it was a screen ride. Like that's what it is. If like you took the screens out of it, you don't got a ride. Like if you take the screens out of Monsters Unchained,
what we were saying is like I still think it was cool. I'm glad we did it.
Right. I just wish they could make a Harry Potter ride that's not a screen.
Yeah.
Screens typically make me sick.
Yeah.
And that's what I've heard about this ride is that the motion sickness like gets people. I took motion sickness medicine so that I could ride this ride because I wanted to. But I just wish that it was more not screen Harry Potter rides.
Yeah. There were some cool elements. One of the Death Eaters was not working.
Right, one of the Death Eaters wasn't working.
And
he was supposed to be like battling.
He was like
just
this.
pointing this way, and the tip of his wand went pew.
Yeah, and I was like, but that was the first animatronic we saw, and it really takes you out of it. The blue powder to get onto the ride.
Yeah, the cube.
We didn't even talk about. Like,
I will say the
cool.
theming of Harry Potter rides in general, in my humble opinion, this is just me, the queues are better than the rides. Forbidden Journey queue better than the ride. Gringotts queue's kind of better than the ride. The ride's fine. This one queue, I could walk through this queue and never ride the ride and just leave the building and be a happy person.
There's some cool parts about it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you would do.
I don't know. I don't know, but
it's so hard. But like, I also, it just kind of blows me away, like what they did pull off.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good. I can see it's a good ride. This is just me being annoyed about more screen rides. I'm sure.
No, it makes you. It has to make everyone at least a little bit nauseous.
Screen rides just make me sick, so I just don't enjoy them.
Well, anything that's simulating you moving, you not actually moving, where it's having you go is going to make anyone feel not normal.
But Owen enjoyed it. He was able to ride it. The height requirement is 42 inches, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So he was able to ride that one. He did like it. He thought it was fun. Like it didn't bother him. So it is something that you can take your kids on. It's nothing scary or anything like that.
No.
Overall, I feel like Owen was able to enjoy the majority of Epic Universe, which was nice to me.
Yeah.
Oh, the last thing we didn't talk about the other rides in Celestial Park.
Carousel.
Yes, because we talked about Stardust Racers, but we didn't talk about the carousel. Craziest carousel. Crazy. It's like not even traditional carousel.
We rode the Carousel.
Yeah.
At the normal Universal today, and that felt just sad.
Right.
Like I don't want to do any.
Right. Well, first and foremost, they're not attached to the top. So like it's like a normal pole, and you go up and down the pole. These are on the bottom. And you spin
in a circle.
Right. These are attached from the bottom, and you're on like a rotating plate, and you move around. It kind of feels like if you're looking at like a alien swirling saucers, how it like moves and like different, like rotates all throughout the base. You're like moving throughout, you'll spin and like you'll be looking in different directions. You go up and down and all of your coordinates.
A simplified version is if you had a circle and then you had 3 other circles that spun within that circle, you would have that.
Right, but like also your ride vehicle rotates.
Right.
You go up and down and it goes along with the music. So there's different soundtracks. We got a really cool one. Like we got a good one.
Yeah.
And so it was like, you go with the music, which is like no carousel does that.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
But it was just like, it was a very modern, up-to-date, fancy, nice carousel.
Don't sleep on the carousel. Try it out.
Yeah. Very low queues, like all day long. I think it was like 5 to 10, maybe 15 at the most that I ever saw. And it was just a lot of fun, and we did that. And then like we did the regular carousel today, and I think
Owen got off the carousel and went again. He really enjoyed it. We rode on one that's like a car looking almost. There's 2 seats, and then the kid sits on a little like rise platform in the middle of you. So we rode all on one vehicle together. We can put a picture of us sitting on that. And then there's like traditional carousel type
Yeah.
animals, but most of them sit two, so it's like a lower seat and an upper seat that like two adults could even sit on, because I saw
And
like
they did.
2 grown people on them.
Well, we had to wait on
We had
that.
to wait on someone to get
There
a
was like an
grown
older
person
lady that was getting.
up on the top part, and it was a
She
little
was
hard.
getting boosted up there, and
Yeah.
it was fun.
But yes, so it was pretty cool. It was definitely an interesting experience. But yeah, overall, thoughts on Epic Universe. I felt like as a family, it was the most we were able to do together
Yeah.
at a park.
Yeah.
Like we
It was
rode everything
surprising.
minus minus 2 rides.
We were so hesitant to come here because of his age.
Because I didn't think Owen would be able to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I think we had that one day at, the regular Islands of Adventure where he rode a roller coaster and it just turned on something in him and he wanted to ride it. And we did it 3 times that day, and it was just kind of
he kept
like
asking what other
yeah,
roller
we did a
coasters
roller coaster
can
and
I
then we
do?
did another one.
What other roller coasters can I do? And boy howdy, when I tell you, this kid loved the roller
Boy howdy.
coasters.
That made this trip happen where we were just like,
It made it where we were able to do this.
yeah, I mean, there was only 2 rides that he couldn't do that we did. We only did 2 things without him, right?
Right,
Like
there's
the
only
Monsters
one more that-
Unchained and Stardust.
Literally one more that he couldn't have done. The Dragon Racers Rally. That's it.
Yeah, but we didn't even do that.
He could have
so-
done Fire Drill.
Yeah,
So there's 3 rides in this whole park he couldn't do.
yeah, height-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, height's not always a thing.
No.
You want to also,
Intensity, right.
just because you're a kid, is that height doesn't mean that they're ready for something like that. And
yeah, intensity.
we still
wise
have
and
some rides
everything.
where he just doesn't want to go on it. We don't make him go on it, but I think we had that moment and he was cool with that kind of stuff. So that added a handful of things that we did in here that we were going to do otherwise.
But with that, it's not so tame that I didn't enjoy them. I still
No.
felt like they were great rides, thrilling
Yeah.
rides.
And some of the just coolest
Yeah,
things
some
that
of
I
the
have
coolest
seen.
things I've seen. I was talking to Rachel today about it, just telling her all the things, how just immersive it is and just what of a different experience it is.
Yeah.
It's a crazy theme park. It really is. It's crazy that this is a theme park that we have here in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
feel very blessed to have this here in our backyard.
Yeah. And this was our first go round. And it was a good first time experience.
It was a very full day. We accomplished everything. I did everything I wanted to do. I personally didn't have those other 2 rides, 3 rides, honestly, on my list of must-dos, because I've heard the Minecart Madness is very, very painful
Rough.
and shaky and jumpy.
Yeah.
That's fine. The Dragon Racers Rally looked fun, but it wasn't oh, I have to do this or I'm going to be so sad. And like I said, I don't enjoy water rides. So everything I
We
did,
did it all. We did
I was
the stuff
happy.
we really liked. We did it twice.
we did it twice.
Yeah. And it
Couldn't-
was not a problem.
Could not have been a better first trip to Epic Universe. Couldn't have been. The crowds were great. It was hot. Ugh, it's Orlando. It's hot. It's humid. It was just hot.
The day before it rained pretty rough for 3 hours or so. And we were just glad we didn't have that.
Right.
But
That is
the
the
rain
biggest,
that did come in, cooled it off. And
But that I would
we
say that's
enjoyed
the
that.
biggest downfall to the park is the majority of the rides are outdoor rides.
Yeah.
So if the weather is bad, it closes down 75% of the park.
Yeah.
There's only a few things open, and then those wait times jump up because that's the only things open. So just be mindful of that. If you're taking a midday break, plan it around your weather.
Yeah.
Because it is Orlando, it does rain.
I think that
especially
is
in
the
the summer.
absolute biggest downfall.
That's the biggest downfall of this
is
park.
when it rain, and they'll keep stuff running in the rain.
Right, but not if there's lightning in the area
Yeah,
and whatnot. they'll
yeah.
shut
If
it
it's
down.
lightning in Florida, if it's May, June, July, August, September,
Right.
October even, that's good 6 months of there's a lot of rain.
Right, when it was raining, the only thing still up and running was the Battle at the Ministry, Mario Kart, and Monsters Unchained.
Yeah.
3 rides.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
we
it.
we live here
Everything else.
and we experience a lot of rain during that time. In those other months, there's almost no rain. But I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
half of
Florida.
your year.
Right,
You're,
it's Florida.
you're gonna have
Expect the rain, so that's the biggest downfall of the park.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. I can't wait to come back. We're already trying to
yeah.
figure out how to make that happen.
I
But
think if you could do 2 days,
yeah, if you can do 2 days,
do it.
do it. It can be done in one day, obviously.
Yeah.
But like we said, we went from early entry to park close, and we did not stop. I am exhausted.
Yeah.
But we got everything done. But if you can do 2 days, you will be able to spend more time taking the sights, enjoy the sounds, enjoy everything.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of
think-
Epic Universe, buddy?
Well, I think that's the hardest part about our trip was trying to cram it all in one day.
Mhm.
And I think it was a very successful full day.
What do you like, buddy?
I like hiccups.
Yeah,
You got
hiccups.
swing gliders? That was your favorite? I like that too.
Yeah,
I told
we know
you
you like
that. He
We
loves
know
Jacob's
we
swing
rode it
gliders.
2.25 times.
I done?
Yeah.
Filming?
Okay. But yeah, if you can come 2 days
Mama.
so that it's not so stressful, I would do that. But everyone,
Oh.
bye-bye. Thanks for watching, everyone. And say, hopefully you learned something. Did you have fun? Yeah. I think we had fun. Daisy's taking Owen away. So I'm going to wrap everything up. But we appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully we didn't spoil too many things or, you know, taught you something that will help you out when you do come to visit. But overall, we really enjoyed it. I think they're working out a lot of their kinks. Hopefully it's as good of an experience or better than what we had. Like I said, there's a few things that we ran into that weren't 100%, but we were happy with what we got. Other than, you know, we really wanted to watch that How to Train Your Dragon show. A lot of hype around that. That was really the biggest bummer of the entire trip, but we still had a great time. Great staff, the cleanliness of the park, everything was just, you know, it's just nice having just everything be new all around you. It's really cool. You just don't get that anywhere else nowadays. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss out on any of our adventures. Bye, everyone. See you real soon. All right, so far thoughts on Epic Universe. What are your thoughts so far? What did you think about Super Mario World? Good, okay. What did you think about the Mario Kart ride?
Good.
Good, you love that one? Yeah, did we beat Bowser? Yeah. What about Hiccup's Wing Glider? Good. What did we do in that one? It was a bit fast with Fly,
Yeah.
but it was super cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all hiccup and what's the dragon?
Toothless. Yeah.
We saw hiccups. We saw hiccup first,
Uh-huh.
and then Toothless.
Yeah.
Toothless is the one that shot like these.
Whoa! We were flying like that? Oh, that's so cool.
Toothless hit this button
Uh-huh.
and it went. It,
That's what it did?
yep.